Hello guys, welcome to my YouTube channel. So today we are going to build something really cool, an enterprise grade secure virtual machine setup in Azure. And when I say enterprise grade, I mean the exact same architecture pattern that companies like Netflix, Uber and banks use for their production workloads. So here's the thing. Most tutorials will tell you to create a VM, slap a public IP on it, open port 22 and SSH directly. And yes, that works for learning, but in the real world, that's a security nightmare. So build, design and architecture I'm going to draw here for you. So this is our whole virtual net system. Now we have one VM here, which is a part of this virtual net, and there would be some subnet IP address assigned for this one, which is only accessible within this VNet. Now, in order to access this one, user has to go through with the firewall. So there would be one firewall where any user comes, the user's request go into the firewall and then firewall transfer to this VM. So this firewall's IP address, subnet IP address will be only address which will be publicly available. For this particular subnet will only expose the private IP, will not make it as a public IP. It will not have as a public, will not have a public IP address, only had the private IP. Now, in order to do the SSH, we will have something called Bastion in Azure. So this is our Bastion resource. We call it resource. Every services we treat as a resource in Azure. Now this Bastion call this VM to install any kind of applications, whether it is a nginx or anything. So will not be, so it has only private IP. That's why we cannot do directly SSH, directly access through internet. Both are not possible because of this is having private IP address. So multiple users can do SSH here, and then nginx page can be also served. So we are clear on the architecture what we are going to follow. Now let's go to the Azure portal and try to see all those things. Okay, now you see my Azure portal. First, what we will do will, so every resource we are going to create needs to be have some resource group which under which it will come. So let's do from the beginning. Let's first create the resource group. We'll search the resource group. We already have one, but let's create a new one. So subscription is just a either it is a free version, or once you have 1 month completed, then you can use as a pay as you go, and then it will be have different subscription. So right now it's a default subscription I have. Then we can name it some resource group. So it will be nginx resource, we can call it. Let's choose a default region for now. Review and create. We'll create it. Okay, it's resource group is created now. We will refresh and see. You see that nginx resource is now created. Okay, now resource is created. Let's create a virtual net, which is the most important part here. This whole virtual net where all the resources or resource services will be come under that virtual net. So the first is the virtual net. So we'll type the virtual net here. network, this one, virtual networks. We'll click on the create button. We'll select the resource group. So B created this nginx resource. We'll select that one. Then we'll name it some virtual network name. Let's call it nginx VNet. Okay, now try to understand these things. So we need to enable this Bastion, which I talked about, to do any kind of SSH, not directly from the someone's machine, any developer's machine. Instead of that, we use Azure platform to do the SSH, and because this VM is not having any public IP address, so we'll enable this Azure Bastion. Let it be nginx bnet Bastion as a name. Default it will coming up. Then we have to enable the firewall as well. Okay, let's choose the standard. See, DDoS is just some hackers can what exactly do they just bombard a lot of requests to your virtual net. In that case, it will halt the process, or probably it will create a huge traffic, which is unnecessary traffic. So that's kind of attack is DDoS. You can enable that as well, but for this purpose, we'll only stick with the Bastion and others. Okay, now we'll do the click on the next button. Yeah, this is very important. So this is CIDR address mapping to each of the resources inside the this bnet. So we can have 65,536 because 2 raised to the power 16 is this number. You can make it lower even by clicking on some number like 22. So 1024 addresses are there, which are covering this subnet default, Azure Bastion subnet, Azure Firewall subnet, which is required inside that, right? So if you make it 29, probably it will not work because 8 addresses are there, which is very limited, which cannot cover all those default addresses, Bastion subnets and firewall subnets. So 16, let it be 16. That's fine. Okay, this is fine. We'll click on the next button. We'll click on the review and create. So yeah, it's running validation passed. Let's click on the create button. It's initializing the deployment, submitting. Okay, here it is creating. Now observe how this is creating a resources. So deployment is in progress. Let's see what are the things which is firstly creating. The first created this firewall, then Bastion comes in the picture. Both are created. Observe these things. It's just for knowledge purpose, not like any important thing, but yeah, we need to know how it is creating internally all those services resources. Then virtual network is created. Sorry, this firewall is created. So Bastion and the virtual net nginx virtual net is created now. So it will take couple of minutes, probably 2 to 3 minutes. We'll come back. Okay, as we can see, the deployment is complete now. So it's time to create a virtual machine now, because what we did till it is created the virtual network only. Now inside that we need a virtual machine and obviously the Bastion as well. So inside while creating the virtual network, we already created the Bastion. Let's see whether it is created or not. Okay, let's see Bastion is there or not. Yeah, so during, as you remember, during creation of VNet, we enable this Bastion, so that's why it is coming up here. So this one and the whole VNet is ready. Now let's focus on the VM part, virtual machine. So we'll search for the resource called virtual machine. Let's go here. Let's create a virtual machine. Okay, this first option. We'll choose the resource group. So every resources come under the resource group always. So we created one resource particular for this activity that is called nginx resource. So I'll selecting that. Let's name some this PM nginx PM probably we can call it. Okay. Then we have this availability zones. So zone one, zone multiple zones on there they are on for particular reason. Uh, so availability zone is nothing but a data center. If I talk about the availability zone, you can think on that front basically. So if any if I talk about the whole world in say whole world into different regions, so there are three regions. For example, this is called R1. We can say not R1. For example, US, West, Asia specific region, then UK. So these regions can have multiple availability zones. Okay. So for example, this is one availability zone, this is another availability zone. Under that, we have multiple data centers that has hypervisor, which logically creates different virtual machines. So these are the availability zones. Okay. So the zones here it is saying that there are three zones, right? In particular region which we are selected, that is by default it is there, South Africa North. So in that sense, it is saying all those zones. So why we divide into different availability zones? Because, for example, if one availability zone is somehow down, for example, this one gets down, then all the request goes to this availability zone 2. So there is a load balancer which take cares of which availability zone has to use. So it is a good practice to have multiple availability zone because it divides the request into different based on upon the availability. So that also we don't face any latency. Also there will be no downtime. So this concepts came from there. Okay, now we are the part where we are creating the virtual machine. So we'll select the resource group and nginx resource we created for that. We can call it nginx VM. Any name you can put. Then the availability zone, we selected the zone 1. By default, whatever is there, let's choose that. And then, so the free service eligible, probably always choose this one if you're using a free account. Then the size is also you can choose the B2 machine. So if you go B2 size are the one B series, the low performance CPU. So here this is the one which is a free available service. So in the free tier account, I will suggest for your POCs use this one. The number of CPUs are 2, RAM is 1. That is efficient. That is more enough than for doing any kind of POC or checking the capability. Okay. Then the username is Azure user. We generate the key value pair. The name of the key value pair is this one. So it will create a RSA file to do the SSH. But in our case, we are not doing through public SSH. We'll use through Bastion itself, right? And then public inbound ports will select the none. So select which virtual machine network ports are accessible from the public internet. You can specify more limited or general network access on your networking tab. Okay. Okay, we'll select the none and then we'll review and create. Will take some time. Okay, yeah. So click on create button. We'll download the private key and create resource. That key is always required. It's a public key. Okay, fine. Uh, so the deployment is initializing now. Submitting the deployment template for resource group in nginx resource. Fine. So this machine is now creating this virtual machine. Will take some time. So as we can see, it's created now. Okay, your deployment is complete. Go to the resource. Yeah, this is the nginx VM. This is a virtual machine resource we just created. So you see mm, there is no public IP of this, right? There is no public IP of this. So how do we connect with firewall? So for that, we'll create the firewall. So this is the private IP of this one. Let's first install the nginx on this one so that we can see whether it is through firewall we are able to access the nginx page or not, right? Second thing, we have to install the nginx. So for that, we're going to the connect tab and not click on this bastion, not connect. So in the bastion, you put the username, that is Azure user. The password, we don't have any password, right? So probably we'll use this private key from local file. So we downloaded one file during creation of VM, right? We'll go on here and select this one. Click on the connect. Okay, so I'll allow that pop-up blocker. Always allow done. Click on the connect button. Allow connecting. See this machine. I'm successfully able to logged in. Now let's go to the root user. Sudo su hyphen is the command. Then we'll install the nginx. So the command is just apt-get. First we'll update the machine. So any package which is not updated will update after this command. Okay, it's done. We'll install nginx. So apt-get install nginx. Yes, you see that nginx is installing now. Okay, fine, it's installed. We see the status of that system, CTL status, nginx, system CTL status, nginx. Yeah, it's active and running. Okay. Now we'll create one file which will show in. So we'll go into the nginx folder where we can see the index file. Let's see if indexes file is there. So it's not there. We'll create one index file, index.html. Press I to go on the insert mode. Then type something which you want to showcase. So I'll put an h1 tag. So I'll name it AI code exploration demo. Okay. We'll click on the colon uh, WQ explanation mark, enter. Now the file is created. We'll restart the nginx. So instead of status, we can say restart nginx. Okay, let's see the status. Yeah, status is active and running. Let's see whether to confirm whether it is able to, we are able to curl or not. So it's 80 port where it is running, localhost colon 80. We'll see whether it is running or not. Yeah, so you can see this h1 tag is coming up. Now we want to perform this from the local user, any user we from the internet who can access this particular nginx. So now we'll try to create a firewall. So we'll select the resource firewall, we'll search it. Here it is, firewalls. We go over there. So we have this firewall is already created as nginx VNet for firewall. We'll see the policies. Okay, policies are not there. We'll click on this one. Okay, go into the settings, click on the rules, click on the add NAT rule collection. Okay, let's name it nginx NAT. Let's make some priority of this. So priority, just a lower number is the highest priority, and it goes up to 65,000. So we'll make it as a priority 100 to override everything. Then action is it's already selected. This destination address, network address translation, DNAT. Okay, we'll add it. TCP protocol, IP address source will open for the public, so star. The destination address, that's a tricky one. So we created the VM mm, without having any public IP address. So in that case, we'll need a private IP, correct? So let's go again back to the virtual machine and select on this virtual machine which we just created. Go into the networking tab, network setting. This is the private IP. Copy this one. Just go here, paste it here. There's a destination address and the port is 80 we have to open, correct? Okay. This is a translated address. Okay, let me correct. So basically, the destination address is the firewall address. So we'll go into search in the firewall. Nginx VNet firewall. So there would be some public IP address for this one. It should be here, public IP. Then this is the IP address. I'll copy this and put it here. This is the destination port, so it can be anything because it's the port which end user will be accessing through. So let's suppose I can make it even 8080. Let's make it 80 to make it simple. We'll go into the virtual machine. We'll select the IP private IP of this one. So private IP in the network settings. This is the private IP. We'll copy this. We'll paste it here. This port is translated to 80 because nginx is running on 80 port. We'll add it. So it's updating the firewall. Let's wait. Okay, so everything is created. Now in order to access nginx, what we need a public IP of firewall, right? We already configured it, the public IP in the virtual net as an entry point. So This is the firewall nginx VNet we were created. Click on this public IP, and here we have the IP address. We copy it. Okay. We call it with 80 port. Just click on that and see this one. We wrote it down, right? AI code explanation demo. As you can see right here, we just configure it. So this is the session about how we can make a VNet configuration for the enterprise, where we restrict the resources for the public access. So we make it private, and through firewall we try to access it. So thank you for watching this video, and hope it was useful for you. And thanks for watching, and please subscribe my channel. Thank you.